The biggest lie you have ever been told about making money is that you need to move fast to get rich. In fact, if you are struggling to grow your trading account right now, it is probably because you are trying too hard to succeed. In the next 25 minutes, I am going to show you why your desire for speed is actually a trap designed to keep you broke, and I will give you the secret to moving so slowly that the market has no choice but to pay you. Think about the last time you opened your laptop to look at a chart. Before you even saw a single candle, your brain started doing something dangerous. I call it the calculator trap. You started thinking, if I can just make $50 today, that's $250 a week, which means I can pay my rent just by clicking a button. You weren't looking at the market. You were looking at a fantasy. You were trading a dream. And when you trade a dream, the reality of the market will always wake you up with a punch to the face. Most people come into this world of trading because they want freedom. They want to leave a boss they hate, or they want to spend more time with their family. That is a beautiful goal. But the irony is that the more you need that freedom, the further away it stays. When you trade because you need the money, you are not trading the chart anymore. You are trading your own desperation. And the market can smell desperation from a mile away. It's like a shark that senses a drop of blood in the ocean. It will hunt you down, it will find your stop loss, and it will take every penny you have because you were too busy looking at your profit and loss statement to notice that the trend had changed. Let's talk about the biology of why this happens. You have two versions of yourself living inside your head. The first version is the logic mind. This is the part of you that studies strategies, reads books, and knows that you should only risk 1% of your account. The second version is the panic mind. This is the part of you that is thousands of years old. Its only job is to keep you alive. When you see a trade going against you, or when you see a huge green candle moving without you, your logic mind turns off. The panic mind takes over. It thinks you're being attacked by a tiger. It makes your heart race, it makes your palms sweat, and it makes you click buttons that you know you shouldn't click. When you are in a rush to grow your account, you are living in a permanent state of panic mind. You are constantly looking for the next big move. You feel like if you miss one trade, you have missed your chance at a better life. This urgency makes you blind. It makes you enter trades that aren't there. It makes you hold on to losers because you can't afford to be wrong. It makes you take profits too early because you are scared the market will take it back. You are paying a speed tax to the market every single day, and you don't even realize it. I want to tell you a story about a man named Elias. Elias was a fisherman in a small village. Every day, Elias would go out into the ocean and throw a huge, heavy net into the water. He wanted to catch every fish in the sea. He would pull the net in as fast as he could, sweating and cursing, hoping for a massive haul. But because he was pulling so fast and with so much force, the net would often tear. The big fish would swim through the holes, and Elias would come home with nothing but a few tiny minnows and a broken back. He was the hardest working man in the village, but he was also the poorest. Next to Elias lived an old man named Thomas. Thomas didn't have a big net. He had a single pole. He would sit on the edge of the dock for 6 hours a day. Sometimes he wouldn't even cast his line. He would just sit there, watching the water, feeling the wind, and waiting. People laughed at him. They said, "Thomas, you are lazy. Look at Elias. He is working so hard, and you are just sitting there doing nothing." But once or twice a day, Thomas would see a specific ripple in the water. He would see the exact type of fish he wanted. He would cast his line once, catch a massive prize-winning fish, and go home to his family. Elias was a trader who overtrades. Thomas was a professional. Which one are you? Are you throwing your net into the market every 10 minutes, hoping to catch a move? Are you exhausted, stressed, and frustrated because your hard work isn't resulting in a bigger account? If you are, it's because you haven't learned the power of doing nothing. In trading, your work is not clicking the mouse. Your work is the hours of waiting required to find the one trade that actually matters. The biggest secret that the successful 1% of traders know is that the market is actually very boring most of the time. It spends 80% of its time just wiggling around, going nowhere, trapping people who are in a hurry. The real money is made in the other 20%. But to catch that other 20%, you have to be willing to sit through the 80% of boredom without doing anything. You have to be okay with watching the screen for 3 hours and not taking a single trade. Most people can't do that. Their ego won't let them. They feel like if they're not trading, they're not working. They feel like they're wasting time. But in the market, time is not money. Patience is money. The person who can wait the longest is the person who gets paid by the person who couldn't wait at all. Let's look at the math of why slow growth is actually the fastest way to get where you want to go. Let's say you have a small account, maybe $1,000. If you try to double that account every month, you're going to have to take massive risks. You're going to have to use high
leverage and trade every single day. Eventually, the market will have a bad day, and because you are over-leveraged, you will lose everything. You are back at zero. Now imagine you decide to be slow. Your goal is just to make 3% a month. That sounds tiny, right? 3% of $1,000 is only $30. You can't even buy a nice dinner for two with $30. Your friends would laugh at you. But if you can consistently make that 3% without blowing up, something magical happens. It's called compounding. After a few years of consistent, slow growth, that small account starts to look like a mountain. And because you moved slowly, you built the skill and the discipline to handle that mountain. The person who tried to grow fast is still at zero, still looking for a new strategy, still blaming the market for their bad luck. Success in trading is not about how much you make, it is about how much you keep. You could make $10,000 today, but if you don't have the discipline to keep it, you are still a poor trader. You are just a temporary custodian of the market's money. Real wealth is built through the relentless consistency of doing the same boring thing over and over again until the results become inevitable. I want you to think about a mountain climber. If a climber tries to run up Mount Everest, they will die. Their heart will explode or they will trip and fall. To reach the top of the world's highest peak, you have to take small, slow, deliberate steps. You have to stop and rest. You have to wait for the weather to be right. Sometimes you have to stay in your tent for 3 days doing absolutely nothing because the wind is too strong. The climber who is in a rush never sees the summit. The climber who respects the mountain, who moves slowly and carefully, is the one who gets to stand at the top and look at the world. The market is your Mount Everest. It is bigger than you, it is stronger than you, and it does not care if you live or die. If you try to run up the mountain of wealth, it will kill your account. But if you respect the process, if you take the small steps, and if you are willing to wait in your tent when the conditions are bad, you will eventually reach the peak. The problem is that we live in a world that hates waiting. We have high-speed internet, fast food, and instant messaging. We are conditioned to think that if something doesn't happen right now, something is wrong. We carry this instant mindset into the market and it destroys us. We see a trader on social media showing off a big win and we feel behind. We feel like we need to catch up. But you aren't racing against that trader. You are only racing against your own lack of discipline. If you can commit to a 6-month period where you stop caring about how fast your account grows and you start caring only about how well you follow your rules, your life will change. In the first month, it will be hard. You will feel like you are missing out. You will see trades go without you and feel a pang of regret. But by the 3rd month, a strange peace will start to settle over you. You will realize that the market is like a bus station. If you miss one bus, there is always another one coming in 15 minutes. There is no such thing as a once-in-a-lifetime trade. There are only trades that fit your plan and trades that don't. By the 6th month, you will look at your account and see something you've never seen before: stability. No more wild swings, no more blowing up,
just a steady, quiet progression. And that is when you will realize that you have become a professional. A professional doesn't trade for excitement, they trade for profit. And profit is the result of a boring, slow process executed with perfect discipline. I want you to understand that the gap between where you are and where you want to be is not a lack of knowledge. You probably already know enough strategies. You've seen the YouTube videos. You know about support and resistance, and you know about trends. The gap is a lack of character. Trading is the ultimate personality test. It will find your biggest weakness, whether it is greed, fear, or impatience, and it will use that weakness to take your money. If you want to be a great trader, you have to become a great human being first. You have to learn to control your impulses. You have to learn to be okay with being bored. You have to learn to value your long-term future more than your short-term desires. This is why most people fail. It is easy to learn a strategy. It is very hard to change who you are. But you can change. It starts with one decision. It starts with the decision to stop being the runner in the forest and start being the one who sits at the edge and watches. It starts with the decision to stop using a calculator to dream and start using a journal to track your discipline. Imagine what your life looks like 2 years from now if you start moving slowly today. You wake up, you spend 30 minutes looking at the charts, you see that there is nothing that fits your high-quality criteria, and you close your laptop. You go for a walk, you spend time with your family, you work on a hobby. You are relaxed. You aren't checking your phone every 5 minutes to see where the price of Bitcoin is. You are free. Not because you made $1 million overnight, but because you mastered the one thing that most people never master: yourself. Now, imagine the alternative. You keep doing what you were doing, you keep chasing the fast growth, you keep jumping into trades because you're bored or scared of missing out. 2 years from now, you are in the same place. You are still stressed, you are still frustrated, and you are probably
On your 5th or 6th trading account because you blew the others up, you have spent thousands of hours staring at screens, but you have nothing to show for it but gray hair and a sense of failure. The choice is yours. The market doesn't care which path you take. It will happily take your money if you are in a rush, or it will slowly fill your pockets if you are patient. The market is just a mirror of your own mind. If your mind is chaotic, your equity curve will be chaotic. If your mind is calm and slow, your equity curve will be smooth and steady. One of the most powerful things you can do to fix your trading psychology is to remove the meaning from each trade. When you are trying to grow fast, every trade feels like a life or death situation. If you win, you feel like a god. If you lose, you feel like a failure. This emotional roller coaster makes it impossible to trade well. A professional trader views a trade the same way a casino owner views a single spin of the roulette wheel. The casino owner doesn't care if the next player wins or loses. Why? Because they know that over 1,000 spins, their edge will make them money. They aren't in a hurry to win on every spin. They just want the wheel to keep spinning. You need to become the casino. Your strategy is your edge. Your job is not to win the next trade. Your job is to execute your edge over and over again and let the math do the work. But you can't let the math work if you are constantly changing your risk, skipping trades, or taking extra trades because you're in a hurry. You have to give the wheel of your strategy time to spin. Let's talk about the void. This is the space between the trades. For a beginner, the void is a scary place. They feel like they have to fill it with action. They scroll through Twitter, they look at 30 different currency pairs, they listen to 5 different experts. They are desperate to find a reason to click the button. For the professional, the void is where the money is actually made. The void is where you keep your capital safe. The void is where you stay sharp and focused so that when the real opportunity appears, you are ready to strike. The best traders are masters of the void. They are comfortable doing nothing. Think about a lion hunting on the savannah.
Does the lion run around all day chasing every rabbit and lizard it sees? No. If it did that, it would run out of energy and starve. The lion spends most of its day sleeping in the shade. It watches, it waits, it ignores the small, unimportant animals. It only moves when a high-value target is in the perfect position. When it finally moves, it moves with total focus and power. But it only has that power because it spent the rest of the day resting. You need to stop being a hungry dog chasing every car that drives by and start being the lion. Save your energy, save your capital, save your mental bandwidth. The market will provide you with a great trade eventually. Your only job is to be awake and capitalized when it happens. I want to give you a simple rule that will change everything. It's called the one quality trade rule. Tell yourself that you are alone allowed to take one trade per day, just one. If you take that trade and win, you are done. If you take that trade and lose, you are done. Suddenly, your perspective changes. You won't waste your one trade on a low-quality setup. You will wait. You will look at the charts with a critical eye. You will ask yourself, is this really the best I can find today? Most of the time, the answer will be no. You will find yourself waiting until the very end of the session to find the perfect entry. And even if you don't find one, you will feel a sense of accomplishment because you had the discipline to stay on the sidelines. This is how you build the patience muscle. Like any other muscle, it starts off weak. It hurts to use. But the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Eventually, waiting becomes easy. Eventually, you start to prefer waiting over trading. And that is the exact moment you will start to see your account grow. We often talk about risk management as if it is just about where you put your stop loss. But real risk management is about managing your own mind. The biggest risk in your trading is not the market. It is you. It is your ego, your impatience, and your desire for a shortcut. There are no shortcuts to wealth. There is only the long, slow road of discipline. But here is the secret. The long, slow road is actually the shortest way, because everyone else is off in the bushes, lost and running in circles, trying to find a shortcut that doesn't exist. By just staying on the main road and taking one step at a time, you will pass them all without even trying. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine your trading account as a vast ocean. Every time you take a reckless, fast trade, you are throwing trash into that ocean. You are polluting your own future. But every time you wait, every time you follow your rules, and every time you choose slow over fast, you are pouring clean, clear water into that ocean. Over time, that ocean becomes a source of life. It becomes a place of peace. It becomes the freedom you've been looking for. Trading is not a battle against the market. It is a battle against the version of you that wants everything right now. If you can defeat that version of yourself, the market will give you everything you want, but it will only give it to you when you no longer need it to happen fast. This is the paradox of trading. When you stop trying to make money, you start making money. When you stop trying to be fast, you start moving quickly. When you stop trying to be right, you start being profitable. You have the power to change your trajectory today. You don't need a new indicator. You don't need a faster computer. You don't need a bigger account. You just need to change your relationship with time. Stop looking at the clock. Stop looking at your goals. Stop looking at what other people are doing. Just look at the candles. Look at the price. And wait. Wait until it is so obvious that it would be stupid not to trade. And until that moment arrives, enjoy the silence. Enjoy the peace of knowing that your money is safe because you are the one in control. The market is a giant machine that transfers money from the impatient to the patient. Which side of that machine do you want to be on? Do you want to be the fuel that runs the machine, or do you want to be the one who collects the profits? The choice is simple, but the execution is hard. It requires you to be different from everyone else. It requires you to be boring. It requires you to be the tortoise in a world of rabbits. But we all know how that story ends. The tortoise doesn't just win the race. He's the only one who actually makes it to the finish line. I want you to think about what it feels like to be a successful trader. It's not about the fancy cars or the expensive watches. It's about the feeling in your chest when you wake up in the morning. It's the feeling of knowing that you can handle whatever the world throws at you because you have mastered your own mind. It's the feeling of knowing that you are no longer a slave to your impulses. That feeling is worth more than any fast gain you could ever make. That feeling is the real wealth that trading provides, and you can only get it by taking the slow road. So from this moment on, I want you to give yourself permission to be slow. I want you to give yourself permission to miss out. I want you to give yourself permission to do nothing. The world will tell you to grind, to hustle, and to push harder, but the market will tell you to be still, to observe, and to wait. Listen to the market. It is the only voice that matters in this game. If you can stay in the game long enough, the success you want will find you. You don't have to hunt it down, you don't have to trap it, you just have to be there, ready and calm when it arrives.
The fastest way is a ghost. It's a shadow that disappears when you try to touch it. Stop chasing shadows. Start building something real. Start building a legacy of discipline. Start building a history of patience. Your future self is waiting for you at the end of the slow road. They are happy, they are wealthy, and they are at peace. They are looking back at you right now, hoping that you will make the right choice. They are hoping that you will stop running and start walking. Don't let them down. Don't let yourself down. Trading is a gift. It is one of the few places in the world where you can achieve total freedom. But that freedom has a price. The price is your ego. The price is your impatience. The price is your desire for speed. Are you willing to pay that price? Are you willing to be slow so that you can eventually be free? If you are, then your journey starts today, not with a trade, but with a breath, a slow, deep breath that signals to your brain that you are no longer in a hurry. You are a trader. You are a risk manager. You are a master of patience. And from this day forward, you move at your own pace, not the market's. Every time you see a big move happening without you, I want you to smile. Smile because you are not a victim of FOMO. Smile because you are the person who has the power to say no. That no is your greatest strength. That no is what separates you from the 90% who fail. The path is clear. The rules are simple. The math is on your side. All that is left is for you to walk the path, one slow, deliberate step at a time. I know it's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would be a millionaire. But the fact that it is hard is what makes it valuable. The difficulty is the filter that keeps the amateurs out and lets the professionals in. Welcome to the professional side of the game. It's quiet over here. It's boring, but the view from the summit is incredible. I'll see you at the top. But take your time getting here. There's no rush. The mountain isn't going anywhere, and neither is the wealth. If this message helped you realize where you've been going wrong, then you've already taken the most important step. You've admitted that the fast way wasn't working. Now all you have to do is commit to the slow way. Don't try to change everything overnight. Just try to be a little more patient today than you were yesterday. Take one less trade. Wait one more minute for an entry. Check your account balance one less time. These small wins add up. They create a new identity. And before you know it, you won't be trying to be patient anymore. You will simply be a patient person. That is when the magic happens. That is when the account grows. That is when the dream becomes a reality. Stay slow. Stay disciplined. And above all, stay in the game. The world of trading is waiting for you to claim your place in it, but it won't be rushed. Thank you for your time. Now go shut your laptop, go for a walk, and remember, you have all the time in the world. The market will be here tomorrow.
The question is, will you have the discipline to wait for it? I believe you will, because now you know the secret. Slower isn't just better. Slower is actually faster. Go prove it to yourself, one candle at a time. What is the biggest myth about trading that you used to believe? Is it that you need to be a math genius or that you need to know a secret algorithm? For most, it was the myth that you need to be fast. Let me know what your biggest realization was in the comments below. Let's build a community of traders who aren't afraid to move slow. Your journey doesn't end here. It's only just beginning. But for the first time, you're walking in the right direction. Take a breath. Relax your shoulders. The rush is over. The growth is starting. Peace.